So it is officially spring break here, which means my house is full of kids, full of mess, and outside you would not know that it's spring break because it is still full of snow. So I'm gonna be bringing spring inside my house and cooking up some healthy spring-inspired recipes just so that I can feel good, feel like spring is actually coming, even though it doesn't seem that way. I'm Melanie and I'm from Canada, Ontario to be specific, and this winter has been completely relentless. The snow hasn't stopped. So the recipes today, I'm gonna be sharing with you as I cook throughout the week, some spring-inspired foods that have lots of protein, that are nutritious, colorful. I love introducing vibrant colors, lots of herbs, vegetables that are in season, even though nothing is in season right now. If you look outside, I don't think anything can grow in this cold. Whew, look, that does not look like spring. Guys. So all of today's recipes, I will type them up for you in case you want to make them at home, and I will put it in the description box below. So make sure you check it out if you want to cook any of today's recipes. And do let me know what you guys think. I love your feedback. If you love a recipe or if you think a recipe could use more of this, more of that. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm not a professional cook by any means. I am learning as well, and I know you guys have so much to share with me. So please give me your feedback and introduce yourself. If you've been watching for a while and you haven't said hello, make sure you say hi. I feel like you guys are my friends. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe. Come hang out with me. All right. I'm excited for today's recipes because I need spring in my life and I'm so excited to eat more fresh, healthy ingredients. Although I do still eat healthy in the winter, I'm just not as inspired. So I'm feeling like the inspiration is coming back and today's recipes, so good, guys. So good. All right, let's get into it. Let's get cooking. Hi friends, I just want to start off by saying I'm so sorry. I've been a little bit quiet lately. We went on a family vacation and then when we came home it was spring break with the kids, which is when I filmed today's video. So things have been a little bit busy in my household, but I'm excited to be back in the kitchen and cooking again and back to making these videos. And this first recipe is a really simple, practical family meal. It is a salmon with lemon slices, fresh parsley, and garlic. I'm all about practical meals that check all of the boxes. You don't have to make any fancy sauces for this one, which is why I really do love making salmon this way. All I did was I put the salmon on a tray lined with foil and parchment, and then you just lay the fresh herbs across the top, sprinkle it with salt and pepper. Guys, I didn't even slice the garlic or anything because the steam is going to trap all of the flavor in there. And then you just bake it for anywhere between 18 to 20 minutes or so. And as much as I love salmon, I think I'm even more excited about this side dish that I paired with it. So let's talk about asparagus for a minute. I have mentioned this before in a previous video, but post-vacation, I do like to introduce more asparagus into my meals because it acts like a natural diuretic and it can help your body release some of that extra water weight that you might have been carrying from, extra carbohydrates and salt when you're on vacation. So that's just something that I like to do. And it's also the perfect time of year for asparagus. Where we live, asparagus is everywhere. We even have farms like right around the corner from us that grow asparagus. So we have a lot of asparagus in our house when it comes to springtime. And my husband will actually literally pull over on the side of the road to look for wild asparagus. We're not homesteaders, we don't live on a farm, but my husband did grow up on a farm. So I feel like it's just in him to be hunting for fresh food, and he is a hunter as well. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Let's get back to the recipe. So for the base, I used a pearl couscous and I cooked it in bone broth just to give it a little extra protein and flavor. And then I chopped up the asparagus with some shallots and garlic, and I just sauteed that in a pan with some fresh lemon zest. I added in more of the bone broth, just a splash of it, covered it, and then I'm letting it steam until it's just tender. And then in the meantime, I am toasting up some pine nuts. That's really gonna bring out the flavor of the pine nuts. You do wanna toast them first, but the combination of the toasted pine nuts with the couscous, and then I'm adding in some fresh parsley. This is the same parsley that I used with the salmon. I do love reusing ingredients across multiple recipes throughout the day and the week, just to make sure I'm using up everything that I'm bringing home from the grocery store. It is the perfect pair with the salmon, you've got your protein covered, you have good carbs, and a really nutrient-dense vegetable. Everything is combined in one meal, which makes it the perfect spring dish. Good morning and welcome to the Ferris household on spring break. We have a peeler out and sharp scissors. Hey. For today, I don't want to go overboard on making too many homemade fancy recipes because obviously my house is mayhem right now and that would be way too much. Oh, that's hot tea. It's just really hard to enjoy cooking when my house is this loud and chaotic, but I am gonna make one recipe today. I'm gonna try to go in the bathroom where it's quiet. I wanna make some kind of healthy snack, and I'm envisioning either a cookie or like a power ball that has cranberries, and I wanna add flax seeds, hemp hearts, maybe some protein powder, almond butter. Oh boy, someone's crying. So I've decided to make power balls, which are basically just our little energy balls, simply because I don't feel like baking right now and I want to keep this as simple and quick and easy as possible because this is my life right now. Let's just say this recipe was a lifesaver for me this week because it's such a busy week with the kids all home. It's the perfect snack to have on hand if you want something quick that you can grab. It's easy to take on the go, and it also has the perfect amount of sweetness if you do have a bit of a sweet tooth. I know for me in the afternoon, when I have my afternoon cup of coffee, I do like to have something small and a little bit sweet. So this has been my go-to afternoon snack this week. So this recipe, it's packed with everything that you want in a good healthy snack. It checks all of the boxes. It has your carbohydrates, has your healthy fats. It has omegas through the hemp hearts and the flax seeds. It has just enough sweetness, but not too much sweetness. Also lots of protein. We're getting protein from the protein powder, and we're also getting extra protein from the hemp hearts. I've also added in some Salmon cinnamon. I've had a few people tell me that I need to switch from my other Costco cinnamon to Salmon because it's just a healthier cinnamon and it does taste so much better. So highly recommend Salmon cinnamon. And then I'm adding in almond butter, honey, just enough honey to sweeten it without it being overly sweet. And then I'm using some high protein milk. I'm starting out with 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to be adding a little bit more as I mix everything together. And then for the chocolate chunks, I just have some extra dark chocolate that I like to keep in my fridge, but you can use like an 80%. I have a 90% because I love extra dark chocolate, but you can use whatever you like. So I'm just mixing everything together and it is going to seem a little bit dry. Now the key here is to add just enough milk until you no longer see any dry bits and you can form it into a ball and it holds together. And if you want the exact measurements for everything, that is all included in that free document in the description box below. You know this girl's gotta have a taste test. Oh, the dark chocolate in this? Yes, please. The cranberry adds just enough sweetness, and the dark chocolate, that just takes it to another level. Now, if you are used to really sweet things, you might want to add a little bit of extra honey. I personally don't like things too sweet, so I'm good with this. Just a little bit of honey. The cranberries add a bit of sweetness, but if you want it a little bit sweeter, maybe add an extra tablespoon or 2 of honey. For lunch today, I decided to get a little bit fancy. My mom came over for a visit, so I wanted to cook something a little extra special. I put together an Asian style Soba noodle salad. It has so many fresh ingredients and it's packed with flavor. I've just laid out some of the dressing ingredients first. And to start, I have a toasted or a roasted sesame seed oil. I'm only using a little bit of that because it does have tons of flavor, and you do want to make sure you're using the roasted kind and not just the plain sesame oil. And then I'm adding in a little bit of olive oil as well, along with some soy sauce. I like to use tamari because it is a healthier soy sauce, but I'm sure just any soy sauce would work. I've added in a splash of rice vinegar and then a little bit of sweetness from the honey. And now I'm just grating in some fresh ginger. I've said this time and time again, but I keep my fresh ginger in the freezer because you can just use a microplane and grate it into any dish, and it's so easy. And then I've also added in a little squeeze of lemon juice, and I'm adding in a little bit of spice with some chili flakes, but you can omit that if you don't like spice at all. And then I'm adding in some fresh garlic, and this is my favorite ingredient. It's just the canned mandarin oranges, and I'm only using the juice from that can for now. I'm saving the oranges for a little bit later. But just a note on the juice, I like to try to look for one that is sweetened with stevia rather than an artificial sweetener or a sugar. So I'm just cooking up my soba noodles. I found 100% buckwheat noodles, but you can use regular noodles if you can't find buckwheat. And then I'm also steaming up some edamame beans. Edamame will add a little bit of extra protein, and I also love adding in either peas or a bean just to up the fiber and the protein. I've chopped up more of that fresh parsley that I used in the previous recipe, along with green onions. And then I'm going to be finely chopping up some kale. I do love adding kale to salads, especially salads that sit in the fridge for a while, because the kale will become tender. And unlike other lettuce, it will actually store really nicely in the fridge for a few days. I'm adding lots of color to this dish. So I have a red bell pepper, and I'm adding in some of those canned mandarin oranges. Now with the noodles, you do want to make sure that you give them a very good rinse under cold water because you want to get rid of all of the extra starch. I think I have everything. We'll take our noodles. Pretty drippy. Whoop. In there. I've got my edamame. Dump that in.
Hey, what is that? Whose house is that? Animals?
And oranges, pepper, kale, green onions, parsley. So nice. Just gonna throw in your chicken. Our dressing. And I'm gonna save a little bit of this because the noodles are going to absorb a lot of the sauce. So I will mix most of this and then set some on the side so that when I'm storing it in the fridge and I pull it out, I can just drizzle a little bit on top when I'm eating it tomorrow and the next day. So make sure you save a little bit. Everything really good mix.
Driving a race car.
Put the rest in a container. Store that in the fridge.
Yeah, but I made my one.
If you're looking for a change from your typical Taco Tuesday night, try doing a Tuesday nacho night instead. It has very similar vibes, similar ingredients, but instead of serving them in taco shells, I decided to roast up some sweet potato rounds and make them kind of like chips so that we can make nacho bowls instead. And it was a really fun twist. It's very similar to tacos. You're serving it with all of the same taco ingredients, but it was actually really simple to throw together and it was nice for a change. So to start, I'm just cooking up some shallots and onions, and I'm gonna be using a ground turkey instead of a ground beef tonight. It's just a leaner protein, a little bit lighter in calories, and it's just nice for a change. Sometimes I'll use beef, sometimes I'll use turkey or chicken. just gonna let the turkey cook in the pan for a little bit, and then I'll add a splash of chicken bone broth just to keep it moist, because ground turkey does dry out quite easily just because it's lower in fat. And now I'm just gonna throw together a fresh guacamole, which is gonna make this extra special. And then I'll just top it with salsa and a little bit of cheese, some Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, and that's it. So my plan for dinner tonight is to use these pork chops, and they are center chop boneless pork chops. So they're pretty lean, and honestly, they were on sale, so that's why I'm cooking pork chops tonight for dinner. Meat is getting so expensive. I don't know about where you guys live, but chicken breast and just all meat is so expensive right now. So when I find something on sale, it's a good day. I honestly don't cook a lot of pork in my house. I usually stick to chicken and beef and turkey, but I thought pork would be nice for a change. And I also have fresh basil. So we're gonna be making a pesto, and I think it's gonna be nice to spread the pesto on top of the pork chops as they cook. So that's what I'm envisioning. Hopefully it turns out. And yeah, I'm just going to throw together a quick pesto. I'll use toasted pine nuts. I just grated up some, you can see, some fresh Parmesan cheese. I'll add some olive oil and garlic and lemon juice. I've never tried pesto on pork chops, so hopefully this turns out and it tastes delicious. So with the basil, I honestly don't think you can go wrong with how much you add. So for me, what I do is I just eyeball it and get a good handful. Toss it in the food processor along with a good handful of Parmesan, some toasted pine nuts. I've got about half a cup, maybe a third cup of pine nuts just toasting. See here. Oh my gosh, they're sticking. Oh. So be careful because they will burn pretty quickly. They're already ready, so it takes like 5 minutes. See? So I'll just set those aside to cool a little bit, and then I'll just throw everything in the food processor.
So we got
basil. Since I'm adding the pesto right on top of the pork chops, I don't want to add too much oil because I don't want it super runny or it'll just run off of the pork chops. So I'm going to keep it a little bit thick. That way I can spread it on the pork chops and it will stay in place. If I was going to make like a pasta, I would probably add a little bit more liquid of some sort, whether that's oil or a little bit of water to thin it out. But since I'm not making pasta and I'm putting it on the pork chop, we're going to keep it a little bit thick. And this is gonna add so much flavor to our pork chops. Typically, I find pork chops are a little bit bland. My kids don't always love pork chops, but they do love pesto. So I'm hoping that with this recipe, they'll actually eat the pork chops tonight. So that will be the test.
Is that pork?
I'll get some honest feedback.
Look.
One more. Yeah? Chew. Okay, good.
Yeah,
What?
chicken ever.
It's not chicken, it's pork.
This is like the best. What does it taste like, chicken?
It does. That's good.